Now, for those who don't know, this is Maya Moore's resume. This is what she walked away from when she decided to put her career on hold to help get the wrongful conviction of Irons overturned. Moore is a four-time champion. She was in the prime of her career. Perk, what is your reaction to this news?
Rachel, this is beautiful. I mean, this is everything. And I said this before to you. You know, men, we do a lot of barking and we try to act like we tough, but women really are that backbone. Women want the smoke.
Speak.
And what she did was she led by example, and she did a wonderful job at it. And listen, I applaud Maya Moore because she walked away from her livelihood, Rachel, her job, the things that, you know, her job that provided her to put food on the table and clothes on her back to go and address an issue for us in social justice and things to that nature and stand for what's right. And it's a beautiful thing. And what she did was she set the bar. She set the bar for everybody, including myself, because she made me go look in the mirror and say, hey, you know what, Perk? Are you doing enough? Are you doing enough out here in the community and standing for what's right? So what Maya Moore has done and what she's doing, it speaks beyond volumes, and I love it, and she needs to be a roses, daisies, tulips, every flower imaginable, because I'm so proud of her right now.
She's a definition of a role model. She's the definition of an example, as Perk said, because not only does she perform at the highest levels in her sport, but obviously she created something that was important to her. She chased it. It was a difficult process. She was there putting on the time and effort as nobody was paying attention, which is at the highest level that you could ever ask for someone to be, to want to emulate. And I almost feel like there should be an award created to be named after her, because that way it would encourage others in her situation and even below to follow in her footsteps.
Yeah, absolutely. That is a great idea. And guys, we talk about some of the natural gifts that athletes are born with, right? Like whether it's height or intelligence or leadership or jumping ability, things that make them who they are. We have learned so much about Maya Moore, about other gifts that she has. She has exceptional compassion. She has Hall of Fame sacrifice, right, and humility. And I've heard people say, why did she have to do this, right? Couldn't she be playing basketball and let someone else do it? But the fact is, we are talking about Jonathan Irons today because Maya Moore was involved in his case, because of the platform she has in basketball. And we owe it to her and the work she did to recognize that there are so many other Jonathan Irons out there. There are people who were railroaded by a system that was biased against them. And all of us Americans who want a justice system where the innocent are protected and the guilty are punished should thank her, because this is what we want. This is fairness. And I really hope that this inspires more people.
Ooh.
All right, guys, I want to talk.
Hey, Rachel, listen, I love when you take me to church. You just took me to church. You speaking that gospel. You starting the show off right. That's the way to do it.
This is America. This is fairness. This is justice for all. And I am so impressed every day by this woman. All right, the NBA and the Players Association released the following statement this morning on coronavirus testing. In tests conducted of 344 NBA players between June 24th and June 29th, an additional 9 players have tested positive for coronavirus. Now, in tests conducted of the staff, there was 884 staff, and 10 have tested positive for coronavirus. So, Brian, that is 9 additional positive player tests from the previous round of results. With about 7% of players testing positive currently, is that a discouraging number or more around the number that you expected? Or both?
Well, Rachel, the way the league looks at this is they want to identify who is the virus so that they can get them treated and get it out of the bubble before it gets in. So every positive test, I know that can be worrisome to some people, but the league looks at it as, all right, we caught another one. And by the way, it's more than 25. Because there were people that tested positive before those tests started. And we're never going to know the real number because there's a privacy issue. But this release to me wasn't so much about the players. I was extremely relieved to see that only 10 of those over 800 people tested of the staff and the coaches came back positive. That is the higher risk group. That is the the older risk group. That is the risk group that, quite frankly, has to follow the rules more tightly. And to see that number so low was a huge relief to me. I think that's good news. I'm not so worried about the players. they have been able to fight this off. I'm worried about those older folks.
I agree. Listen, in a perfect world, we would wish that none of them would have caught the coronavirus. But the NBA and Adam Silver put together a pretty good plan. They knew that people were going to test positive. We knew this. Like, out of all these people that are involved with the NBA that's going down to the bubble, players, the people that work in the organizations, we knew some people would go test positive. But that's why the NBA took the steps of saying, you know what, teams got to report back on this date. Teams got to test on this date prior to going down to the bubble. Also, we're going to give you 3 weeks of training camp just in case some guys have to quarantine for 14 days. They still have enough time before the regular season starts. So I think the NBA are doing a great job, the best that they could do, because it's no real solution and it's really no perfect thing, no perfect way to address this situation. They knew this was going to happen. They had a plan in place. And I think, the percentages are low in my opinion. And I think, we got to continue to move forward.